Yeah.
And I had gotten up to 6 figures.
Wow.
So that was big.
Mm-hmm.
But I was a 9-figure woman. And I was going to set up with 6. I think I was 25. And I had made $1 million in that business. And I believe we've got so much greatness, but little things get in the way. And we let the voices of the wrong people, who you ain't even going to know in 5 years probably, get in the way. And then once you move over those voices, they ain't even moving nowhere. They still right there, and you jump 10 levels over that. Now, when is it that I have to cook to be a good wife?
Amen.
We got enough money that if we want to bring in a cook, we can. Boundaries. Oh, listen, if you don't set limits and boundaries, people will set them for you.
Hey family, welcome to another episode of The Love Lens. Now today I have someone really special to me. Make sure to hit the subscribe button right now so you don't miss out on any episodes. Now Dr. Traci Lynn is an amazing individual that I had the opportunity to meet on stage, a stage that she commanded with thousands in an arena. And one thing I know is that this is a woman of heart. This is a woman of love. This is a woman of business. And she has so much to share. So we're just going to toe dip into a little bit of her life as a busy professional woman who's married, who has family, who has all of the things, who has built an empire of millions to be able to bring you a message to shift a little bit of how you see love in this world. Welcome, Dr. Lynn. How you doing?
I'm good, Coach Cass.
Hey.
Very good. Good to be with you today.
Oh, listen, now you are the queen of fashion.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. Now y'all, ain't she doing it? Ain't she doing it? So Dr. Lynn, let's go a little bit into what you're previously known for, right? Can you share a little bit of your story? Because what I know is that there's so many people with a dream in their heart. And you know, she's there wondering, nickel and diming, trying to put something together. And I feel that that's been a part of your story that led you to where you are. So can we start a little bit over there?
Yes. So what I've been known for, Traci Lynn Jewelry, and that's a direct selling company, fashion jewelry with over 100,000 women. And yeah, so that is a wow to have 100,000 women in and out, but there, and some women, even though I'm not doing that anymore, they're still there with me.
Yeah.
They still want to celebrate their blingiversaries.
Yeah.
So, absolutely, because what I built was a community.
Yeah.
And a strong community cannot be disassembled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you can't dismantle that.
No.
And they have gone with me even until now.
Wow. Okay. So, all right. So in building a community, right? So one thing I know is that there's so many solopreneurs. So you started out by yourself, or did you have many women surrounding you when you first started out in business?
Well, when I first started out in a different business, which was clothing. So I started in clothing because my grandmother sold clothes. And so at the age of 4, I was her assistant. So she didn't let me go to daycare. She came and got me from Miss Queenie, who ran the little daycare at the house.
Yeah.
And she said, you know what, I'm going to take you with me. So I don't know if she said that, but, you know, in my life today, I feel she wanted to teach me the business.
Wow.
And I learned how to remember directions. I learned all the clients' names, and I remembered how much they owed us. So I had...
You were counting the money.
Oh, yeah. I had a special talent for counting money at 4 years old. And I was right. That's why she kept me with her, because I knew... my little brain remembered those numbers.
So then what transitioned you over to jewelry from clothing?
So when I started, because I saw clothing, but my grandmother also had accessories. And so I watched and realized just little conversations, you know, at this point, 4 and 5, we make more money with jewelry. I'm 5, 4. So I didn't pay attention, but I started clothes and realized that clothes is not one size fit all, and jewelry is. And I got a lot of people who love the way things look, just like I do in a store hanging up, but I don't love the way they fit when I get into the dressing room.
Right.
And what happens, it goes back. But jewelry, if I like it, seeing it, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to like it on me too. And that's how I transitioned, because it was just so much bringing things back. But the biggest thing was the irritation to greatness. A lot of times, even, your listeners today need to be irritated to get to that greatness. Nobody wants the irritation, but the irritation is necessary to get to the greatness. So my irritation when selling clothes, because I was going to continue. I was trying to find the one size fit all.
Right.
I went to that brand.
Yeah.
So I started doing one size, but one size does not fit all. So then I said, okay, fits most.
Right.
And then the clothes started saying fits most. And then it didn't even fit most.
Oh, no.
So I was like, okay, we got to change this. But I had women, I heard them outside my door because I did business in the house. And I started fixing up the whole house. And I did the kitchen first. And then I did my living room, and that's where everybody would come. And so it was like going through the spaceship. You had to go through all this plastic and put on these plastic booties. And so I heard the women outside my door saying, you know what? We're paying for all of this. We should just band together and do our own thing.
Oh, no.
Because she making all this money, getting all this done on us. And from that point on, I shut it all down. That just hurt my heart.
Yeah.
I'm in my early 20s at this point.
Right.
I wasn't prepared to hear that. And I went into a depression. But I decided I'm going to try again, and I'm going to try it this time with jewelry only, and this time without those girls.
Oh, my goodness. So these girls were women that you trusted, women that you loved.
Yes.
Your cousins and them. These folks are helping you build this empire.
Yes.
And they got jealous of the fact that you were making it all happen. Now, most people, that would take them out.
I know.
They would say, you know what? I'm never doing business again. I'm going to work a job because I can't trust anyone. So what in you shifted or changed to say, I'm going to try again?
I called my mother.
Ooh.
And she was living in Detroit. And I was actually in that particular house. I was with a different husband.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was divorcing him.
Gotta go.
I was in a space like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I decided to open up a kiosk at the train station. So I called her and asked her to move here. Look, drop her life, move here. I'm her only child. Drop it all. Come on here and work with me at this train station. But I didn't need her to really work with me. I needed her voice. I needed her to remind me of who I was. I was beginning to forget, because so many bad things were happening, this divorce, the business closing, and there was an irritation. I felt still a call to keep going, but I needed the right voice. I said the right voice in my ear. And she moved. She understood that. She understood she was still on assignment for her baby girl. I am her favorite child. I did say only child.
You did.
Right? I did. And so being the favorite, she came and I opened the train station. And then I decided to start to do jewelry. And that's what I did the jewelry in the, I did jewelry and some accessories in the train, but also I did it in my home for a little while. And I set the goal. This is where we miss it. We don't move again. Right. I felt led to try again. Didn't call those same ladies, but I called some other ones. And they came, and I had a goal. I had a goal in 3 months to be out the house in my first building. And I think maybe my goal was June, but I met the goal 2 months early. What? Because I had it up. Write the vision down. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision down. Make it plain so that when you read it, you can run with it. So when others read it, they can run with it. So when you declare what's already in you, the angels can run with it.
Yes.
So folks was running, and I had a building.
Yes.
I got a lease. I moved out. I moved into a next door to a doctor's office. And then I outgrew that in 3 months.
What?
And the owner saw how I was growing and offered me his big space upstairs. And the rest was history in that second iteration.
Oh my goodness. And there's so many iterations.
Yeah, there was 3 for me.
So then, you built and you moved, and then here comes Traci Lynn Jewelry.
Yes. Here comes Traci Lynn Fashion Jewelry, but I was not going to be Traci Lynn because of what happened. So I was going to be Tracy Yearwood, my ex-husband's last name. So I was
Yeah.
going to take on a different name because then I developed imposter syndrome
Ooh. Mhm.
because could I really be her? Was I sure? Look what happened the last time. But my mother was right there. No, you do it. But I was in an article and it had my other name. I wouldn't go by the name Traci Lynn. So I still have that as a reminder
Yeah.
to never do that again, to
Yeah.
always be me unapologetically all the time.
Oh.
So I did. And that business, I was only at, I think I was 25 and I had made $1 million in that business. Yep. I came back. All this other drama happened at 22, 23. By the time I was 25, I made my first $1 million.
Wow. So that's a big deal because there's so many women that dream
Mhm.
of making it to $1 million, but
Mhm.
essentially you had to shut that whole thing down again.
That whole $1 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shut it down again. Yes, same thing. People, until I learned how to get delivered from people, until I learned how to let the people be the people, let their nay be nay and let my yay be yay, until I learned that and learned how to speak that truth.
Right.
And be okay with people not liking it.
Ooh.
Even it may not match what people like. So you know me, coach. You know I'm going to say what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody may not like it, but I have my reasons for being, and I stand on that. So until I got there, these were all practice runs. So I heard another lady who I was helping her. This lady was old enough to be my mother. And I was in my 20s, and I'm helping her put her son through college. And she out there telling everybody, standing out there. And I had this little machine. I thought somebody was ringing the bell, and I'm listening on this little phone device to my ear. And she's telling everybody walking out, we don't need to support her. We need to do our own thing. So here came to me twice.
My goodness.
So I decided to shut that down too.
Shut it all the way down.
I shut it all the way down. Second iteration. And then I had a big article come out in Essence. All the little girls were writing me. I was already closed. And I had this big article come out in Essence, and I was already shut down. And all the little girls, oh, I'm looking up to you. Oh, this inspired me. And I'm over here sitting in the corner sucking my thumb. And my mother,
your mother,
still here, reminded me, do you remember when you were a little girl and you jumped off the diving board when you were 8 years old and you couldn't swim and you jumped into that 10 feet of water? This is a story she heard about because she wasn't there. What parent would let me jump into 10 feet? But I was with kids.
Right.
And nobody was watching me, and all the other kids were doing it. So I did it and laughed, went to the bottom. Don't even ask me how I came back up. I did. I swam to the edge. From that day forward, I could swim.
Oh, snap.
And so I did it 10 times. See, I had a boldness that was born in me. And so she reminded me of who I am. And so I decided to become a speaker. I traveled with Les Brown. I started opening for him. And I thought jewelry was over. But jewelry found me. Your purpose, as long as you are out there moving, it has a way of finding you. And I discovered a long time ago what the gifts were. But that purpose came back, found me. Third iteration of Traci Lynn Jewelry. And that's the business that got us to 100 million.
Wow. 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 So for me, it's the never giving up, right? So it's like, even though you were hurt, even though you were betrayed, even though it took you out for a little bit, you didn't allow that to keep you down. You kept rising. You kept going. You kept figuring your way. You were traveling with Les Brown, but still like, maybe I'll try something different.
Yes. And I thought I was going to be a professional speaker.
Yeah.
And I had gotten up to 6 figures.
Wow.
So that was big. But I was a 9-figure woman. And I was going to set up with 6. And I'm 9-figure.
Yeah.
So I had to decide, no, I learned speaking for my business. That's really what it was all about.
Yeah.
Just to have the confidence to present, to tell the story, to enroll people. That's community.
Yeah.
I enrolled them into my story.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn how to do that. Then I bought franchises because I realized I didn't have anybody in the family. I didn't have anybody to go to. I had no mentors. So I didn't understand systems. I didn't understand processes or strategy.
Yeah.
So I opened up 1 franchise, 2 franchises, 3 franchises. I ran them for 10 years during that second break. 10 years to learn systems, strategies, and how to really follow somebody else's rules and how to do it, and take the franchising method and make it into a direct sales category.
That's powerful, because there's so many people that don't want to learn from someone else, right? So it's like you humbled yourself.
Yes, I did.
And said, listen, I'm going to learn this franchising business so I could work my own, right?
Yes.
So I could build my own, do these systems in a way that I can grow to 100 million. Now, during this time, you met your husband.
I did. I met my husband when I was getting ready to close down that second iteration, because I was already divorced.
Yeah.
And so I met him, and we dated for 10 months, and then we were married.
What?
Yep.
10 months? Shut the front door. Okay,
Yep.
so.
And we've been married 29 years.
I love that.
Going in this year makes 30. 30 years.
Oh, we got to do something. Okay. So, all right. So here we go. You're shutting down this business. You're now starting to speak with Les Brown.
Right.
And then here it is, this man wants to vie for your attention, but you're still on the go. You're still doing things. So how did that work in that atmosphere, right? So it's not like you said, okay, let me just date you and do nothing else. Because sometimes we feel like that. We have to shut down everything else to be able to focus on this man. So what did you do in order to do both?
Well, it was actually the man that told me that I should be in motivational speaking, that I should listen to Les Brown. I didn't want to listen to the motivational stuff. I felt I was already a motivator. And then I listened to Les Brown. I was like, that man done stole my stuff. He stole my material. I really said that because I realized we all say the same thing. We all cut from that same cloth. That's it. That's why we do say the same things, even if you never heard it. And so once I listened to him, that's how I met Les, was because of my husband, who I was only engaged to at the time, encouraged me to listen to him and then see how I could speak with him.
Wow.
He put that out there. You could travel with him. I was like, and sure enough.
When you have the right one in your corner.
When you have, I said the right voice. Didn't I start with that?
Yeah.
The right voice. And that's why it didn't take years to date.
Yeah.
And then he says, I gave him an ultimatum. I might have said, I don't recall, but I might have said, I ain't the dating forever kind.
That's it.
You see this good thing? So yeah, I might be on the downside of life at the moment, but I shall rise again and where you want to be. So he said, I said that. I might have said that. I might have said
that. Sounds like you.
That sounds like me. That's why I can go with that. I might have said
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, but
when you know.
I said 8 months and we've been married going on 30 years.
Looks like it worked.
It did work.
So was there something special about him?
The voice. The voice kept leading me into the right path. The other voice from the other man was not leading me into the right path.
No.
2 different people. My other voice, the other one, was Ivy League graduate, big banker, big stuff. All the things that check the boxes that your mother would love.
Right.
So, and that people would love.
Right.
And so even when I walked down that aisle, true story, I knew then I was only going to get married for that dress. I knew I was married. I said yes to the dress at the altar. I ain't say yes to that man. I couldn't tell you nothing about the vows. I don't know what he had on, but I know I was sharp. I know I had that custom dress on with a hat, and I had a dial maker make me a dial to match it. So I said yes to the dress. And that's who I said yes to at that altar. And I heard God say, don't you do it.
Wow.
But I said, Lucy, all of them done travel from Detroit. My family from down south, they all here now. We're going to say yes to this dress. And I say yes to the dress, which means I was divorced in a couple of years, not even 2 years or so.
Wow.
I was 1 year, it was already over.
It was over.
It was over. I didn't like the man. How am I going to love somebody I don't even like? I love you, but I don't like you. No, I don't love you and I don't like you.
Right.
And I did say yes to the dress. So we just need to put that out there.
And that's
but
it.
The problem is I had a business and he was on that business. So I had to try to then buy back shares. It was a hot mess.
Hot mess.
So I teach. So as I teach about that kind of stuff. I teach it. I lived it, trying to buy back the shares of my business, and he had the shares. And then I didn't even understand that I didn't go on to the mortgage. So he said I couldn't be on the deed. Well, where they do that at? That's not even true. You ain't got to be on the mortgage, but you better be on that deed. I wasn't. So what happened? That whole little spaceship atmosphere I created and doing that house, I didn't get one penny from it.
Ouch.
It's all right, though. I learned that lesson. I teach it.
Have you ever struggled when it comes to conversations on dates, maybe a first date or even your 50th date? One thing I know is that we need to have more meaningful conversations, and that's why I created the Love Deck. 60 questions to ask before choosing the one, but really to deepen your conversations. So whether it's with that guy that you're dating or with your mom or your close girlfriends, what I know is we gotta speak more to the heart of our people. Grab your Love Deck today. It's a great gift for others, and you could get it right now in our Amazon store. Pick up yours. One side is affirmations. The other side is dating conversations. Get yours today. Pick up the Love Deck. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Man, all of the hurt and it's like iterations of hurt, you know? So it's like you build on it. And I feel that there's so many stories where you could have just said, I'm done.
I know.
With it all. But you
I
had
did
that
say
voice.
I was done, but I kept coming back.
I
did say it. We're not even going to do it to you people like that. That I'm just like, the superwoman, you know?
No.
I do believe I'm Wonder Woman in there, but you know, it in there. But there are moments that getting knocked down comes with it. But everything was that I could teach somebody else. That I'm living today off of what I learned and what I earned. That's how I'm living today. What I learned and what I earned. And that's what I'm sharing.
That's so beautiful. So now you're moving into a totally different space, but it really is because of the journey that you've taken, right? In life, love, and business. It's just so much that I continuously learn from you, from how to lay my necklace, how to show up, how to speak, contracts, all these things that you teach, right? So can you share a little bit of what a woman who is building business, who has gotten success, like what do you see is the number one thing that she should be?
That she should be in terms of character, resilient. That's the number one thing, resilient. She has to have a knowing that who she is and that she has greatness in her, that God knew her before she was formed in her mother's womb and already set the stage. Now, if you watched a movie, over and over, you already know how it's going to end. You telling the character, listen, I didn't see the end. You win. Keep moving.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how women are. And I believe we've got so much greatness, but little things get in the way. And we let the voices of the wrong people, who you ain't even going to know in 5 years probably, get in the way. And then once you move over those voices, they ain't even moving nowhere. They still right there, and you jump 10 levels over that. So resilience is the main characteristics that we have to have. And then separate our who from our do. Because if you put who I am with what I do, I'd still be doing jewelry. And so we say I'm moving into another space, but I ain't new to this. I'm true to this.
Yeah.
And why am I not new to it? Because I did coaching calls every single Monday for free with my group for 15 years. So now I charge to do coaching calls every single week. So I realize I am doing the same thing, but on a global level, which means I can include women who I couldn't include anymore because they weren't a part of my specific community.
Right.
Now I can invite those women in and pour and pour and pour. And people say to me all the time, because even on social media, I'm doing all these reels and I'm giving so much away. And people are like, you're giving away too much. Listen, this well is so deep.
Yeah.
You gonna have to do a whole lot to get to the bottom of this.
That's it.
I see you in glory by the time we get to the bottom. And God keeps pouring more and more. If he can get it through you, he'll keep getting it to you. So we've got to be that vessel.
Wow. So I have a personal story, right? I
Mm-hmm.
remember I went to a church retreat
Mm-hmm.
and I remember calling you up. I had been working at a job for about a decade.
Yep.
And God was telling me that, I think you should go full time with love coaching. I think you should go full time in your business. And I was toying and toiling and going back and forth. And I called you up, Dr. Lynn, Dr. Lynn. The main thing that you told me
Mm-hmm.
is you said, now when you die,
Mm-hmm.
and you meet God.
Yep.
And he says, look at all of what I had for you, but instead you chose to be comfortable.
Yeah.
It was the biggest punch in my stomach, like, oh, that's good. Because literally, I started after that conversation, I had made a decision, right? Like, okay, I'm gone, I'm out. But then in the 2 weeks since then, I started to talk to the folks that had been working that job for 20 and 30 years. And I started to see, is this what I want for my future? Because it's guaranteed, right? Miserable folks just waiting to get the paycheck and get on out of here at 5 o'clock. And it's like, there's so much more to what I desire to leave on this earth. So I just want to say thank you for being a part of that voice for me, right? To say, wow, the world has absolutely shifted 180 for me since then. The fear was there, right? Stepping out was there. All of that was there. But to know that I too could rise.
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
And I knew you could rise because I was tired of you complaining about that man, your supervisor. We ain't going to say no names, but I was tired of that.
You was tired?
Yes. Yeah, I was tired of it because you were better than that. You were dumbing that thing down for them.
Yeah.
But yet that promoting side of you, you had me on boards and this, you always, pushing people and not pushing yourself.
Yeah.
But I could see it. And I even knew your husband would be okay as long as you made the decision.
Right.
You already, you on that thrifty side. So you were already keeping everything right, honey, keeping it close to the vest. So I knew you could make it. But you needed to trust yourself. And if you could, and you were young and you're beautiful. And I knew if you stepped out, if it didn't work out, you can always go back somewhere.
Right.
You're smart enough. You got a doctorate degree.
Yeah.
I mean, you graduated high school and you were like a Doogie Howser, like 12 or something. So you could always get a job.
Yeah.
But your journey was bigger than a journey of brokenness. It was bigger than that. It was so much more. And I could see it. But you had to be ready to hear it. Because I had spoken similar words to you over the years. But at that retreat, when God had your attention,
He had it.
And it was on my birthday, when you called me for my birthday, and I heard the Lord say what he said. But what is beautiful is that we're talking now and people are hearing that. That's for me. That's for me. I received that. Then walk in it because you walked in it.
Exactly.
You received it, but you walked in it. You cannot have faith without corresponding action. You have to move. We're so afraid. What if I mess up? And what if you do?
Right.
Then you're going to find out more. Don't do that part again. You do this. Step out and find out.
That's it. Ooh, step out and find out. And you know what I found out? When I told my CEO that I was leaving, she said, wow, I knew you were going to do this one day. You're going to be so amazing. And I was just like, so, they'll never tell you it's your time. You have to come to that conclusion yourself, you know?
Absolutely. And when you stay beyond your time, then things start to shut down. Then you have a discontentment about where you are. You have a discontentment about the people you work with, work for, supervisor. You're about to be irritated to greatness and it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
And you don't want to leave like that if you can help it.
And that happens in relationships too. So,
yes.
Wow. So, okay. So now we've built this business. We've come into this one. We have the relationship. So now 30 years in the game.
33, almost 34 years now.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
34.
What would you say, right? Now as you have your day-to-day life, because, I feel that the experts say, you have to wake up at 4 a.m. You have to, do 19 things before the rest of the family, like Proverbs 31, right? It's just like, it just seems so exhausting. So could you share with us a little bit of what your routine is to be this amazing woman that sits in front of us?
Well, I mean, as you know, I could live a lifestyle of retirement, do one of those cruises around the world twice, not have to engage in anything daily. But I believe there's still more for me to do. So in order for me to do it at the highest level, I mean, I right now I'm up at 4:20. Because I'm at the gym.
Hallelujah.
I'm in the car by 5, at the gym by 5:25. But I have to meet the woman who's training me, and that's the requirement because she's going to work every day. So if I want her to work with me, I got a 2-pack, she got a 6-pack. If I want to get a 6-pack, then I got to do what she's requiring. She requires that I am there on time by 5:30 a.m. and that we go for 2 hours. 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. But then she now made me do 4 sets of everything. So now we're there till 8 a.m. So this is the requirement of this excellence. And I'm used to requirements. I'm not the kind, I didn't have my, time freedom. I don't ever remember. I worked so hard that I had to take 1 year almost off last year. Almost, because then I started the whole coaching business. I said almost. But that was the plan. And I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was doing real estate. I got my license. I thought I was going to sell real estate. No, I'm really a real estate investor. So I found that out. No, I'm a coach. But I stepped out. I went to the real estate office a couple of days a week. I was just sitting there. I was so out of place, trying to have the coffee with the people, putting the oatmeal, just watching. I can assimilate my environment, but I wouldn't put it on my social page I'm now this real estate. I didn't know yet. I didn't feel it, but I felt I needed to step out. And I did. And it came. And you were a part of that to get me to an intensive, to learn what it was about. And that opened the door. And then that opened the door. And then that opened the door. Because I stepped out to find out. So my routine now, 4:20 in the morning, and I'm having a blast. Getting up at 4:20, honey. I don't need no snooze. In a minute, I ain't even gonna need the alarm, but it's doing something different. So I'm saying this to people that you may have to get some things to help you do something different. I need the alarm clock, but my body will adjust. But right now I need that. And even though I can barely walk, I'm doing them legs. I'm doing whatever it takes because at the end of the year, I want that 6-pack. So I got to adjust my food, my diet. I have to do all of that. And I'm doing all of that while at church every night because we're at a specific thing having at our church. So I'm there every night. And then today I had to decide. I'm going to get up at 4:20 and I got midnight church tonight. And then 7 a.m. workout in the morning. But I'm going to do it because I'm committed to that.
Wow. Okay, so now we have the workout. We have Jesus.
We have Jesus.
So now how do we fit in family in this equation?
Well, family, the good thing is family is right there. I make sure I make time for a date night or two.
Or two.
Okay. And I do with my husband. He loves bowling. I don't particularly care for bowling, but because I've gone so much, I can bowl now. I can put the camera on. I know I'm going to get that strike because he's gone. We've gone so much. And then making time for my son. I mean, he's grown now. Well, he thinks he's grown because 19 ain't grown when you still need your mother. But anywho, I just make it a priority. I've always made family a priority. I didn't say I always cooked. We made decisions about how we were going to do things.
Well, amen. Come on, talk about it.
Yeah, because people think, as a wife, I did a reel that, I didn't cook for the first 20-some years of my marriage. Oh my gosh, you would have thought I said that I never came home for 20-something years. Now, when is it that I have to cook to be a good wife?
Amen.
We came up with a decision, and the decision was, you are anointed for this business. I want to support you. I'll take care of the house. We got enough money that if we want to bring in a cook, we can, but we will definitely get a housekeeper. That's non-negotiable every week. My husband said, I'll make sure our son is picked up. I'll make sure we have food when we need to order things in. We'll do that. But that is not what I need you focused on. Run. run what you got to do. So we had agreement on that. So I don't need the outside people to say, then you ain't no real wife. Well, that's why I'm still 129 years later, because I am a real wife. Now, I do cook now.
Good too.
I do cook real good, but what cooking does for me, it helps me release fractured focus. Because I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I would always be starting 25 businesses.
Right.
So I stay focused on what I have. And cooking is what is a part of my love language now, because I'm not doing the hardcore entrepreneurship of my early days, of my 20-some day. I did that thing for 26 years, hardcore.
Right.
So now I can cook.
Yes, and I'm so grateful for this cooking. Hallelujah.
Yes, indeed.
So to the person, because I have several clients that, are starting businesses, and they often they feel like they have to choose. Well, Coach Cass, let me just get my business to a certain place, and then I'm going to come back to work on my love life. Or, I don't really have time for love, because I have all these other meetings and things. Like, what would you say to that woman that feels super overwhelmed and engrossed in having to do all the things of her business and putting love continuously to the side?
And that means that she's going to be looking for love in her late 50s and 60s. And not that she can't get it, but she would have missed a lifetime with a partner. And one thing that I don't know how, I'm his helpmeet, but surely he is my covering. How would I have made it through those darkest times? I would have been going into the world undressed without my covering. With him there and all the things of the world, all the people. You don't think I had jealousy again? But I'm strong enough to handle it now. You don't think I had all the same stuff I had back then? I wasn't prepared to handle that. But now, two can put 10,000 to flight. That's what the Bible says, which means that it ain't about 1 and 1. 1 and 1 don't make 2. 1 and 1 is like 10 up in there. So what we could do together, and he has been a witness of my life. And having a child there, all of the things that I have loved and enjoyed. I enjoyed taking my son to the movies every Saturday, making time for that. I didn't let people call me with business stuff over the weekend. I was not a jewelry doctor, so ain't no real emergency. So don't be calling me with now I'm about to quit. Well, go ahead then and join me again on Monday. I'll get you right on Monday. And if I can't get you right,
wow.
But I'm a do family. Boundaries. Oh, listen, if you don't set limits and boundaries, people will set them for you.
Yes.
In everything. So all those failures taught me how to walk this walk out with boundaries and with family. So I'm glad I said yes to love before I was building that big business, while I was building that big business, because I needed my husband. Because what could happen, well, you know what? What you really bringing to the table? You know how much money I made? You ain't got nothing to do with this. You ain't, I got this. We don't have that in the house because I know the contribution that was made.
Beautiful. Okay, so then on the other side, now there's the women that have built something good, and you deal with those women, right? And a lot of them are like, well, what you got going on, sir? And what would you say to that woman that is established, that desires love, but they're not really sure how to let him in if he's not bringing the bank and the Bentley with it?
Yeah, well, one thing, let him in with your prenup. Go ahead and protect yourself, bulletproof it up, get your prenup, and you could be free to love. That's it. Understand legal things about houses and trust and how joint tenancy really works. A lot of people don't understand that, especially when it comes to mortgages, or forget a mortgage, even a deed. But build yourself up there, bulletproof that, and let love in. You all right? And just let love in. It's all good, because everybody's not going to match you there. But what does he match you with? So my husband realized, look, I can't out earn you.
Yeah.
I see that. I see that God's hand is on you for that. So I'm going to support you in that. I'm strong enough to stand here and let you go ahead and do that and not be envious of that. But I'm going to be on this journey. I'm going to be the one that gives you that counsel at night, because we didn't talk business after 8:00. That was
come on.
No, we shut down. No business after 8:00 at night. Because you go to bed with all that
Mhm.
and anything crazy and you think that we need to work it out and help me with that. No, I have to go and pray and give it to God
Amen.
and get my peaceful sleep, beauty sleep. I mean, come on now. You
Gorgeous.
know,
Yes.
so I did that and we did that. And that way we kept business out and kept love in.
Ooh, wait, pause. Okay. So 8 p.m.
Cut off.
8 p.m. What time did
Mhm.
you actually go to sleep around?
Probably about 11,
Mm.
11:15. I'm the kind, I'll be talking to you. You need to stop because exactly. Got that from my grandmother, honestly. But 8 o'clock we would stop
Wow.
because we had a child.
Yeah.
We had house things we wanted to talk
Mhm.
about. We wanted to watch at least one program or
Oh,
have dinner and talk.
yes.
I needed the normalcy of a couple and marriage.
Mm.
I craved that. So we cut it off at 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's good.
And we would not let each other do it.
Mm.
And I would start something. And can you believe what happened? He said, nope, but you can tell me about it tomorrow. We go on the clock at 8 a.m.
That's it.
We can talk about it then.
8 o'clock. That's
8
it.
to 8. Those were the business hours.
I love
and
that.
we live by that still to this day.
Mm.
Still to this day.
Wow.
We have business hours.
Oh, I'm here for it. See, I'm learning new things and I've known you for quite some time now.
Well, we on podcast.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's right.
yeah. So we got to come with all this. But
I love it. So there's now you have 2 dogs, and there's a story that you tell about these 2 dogs that I think would be good for our listeners to hear about. Can you share?
Especially about my one dog, my
Mhm.
big dog.
Yes.
So my Coco,
Mhm.
when she was a puppy, she was so just fun loving, loved everything. She'd look at herself in the mirror and just jump around. And we had a tall mirror, so she could go in there and then she started licking the mirror. She licking herself in the mirror, and then just playful. But then when we moved, she didn't have access to that mirror, and all of a sudden, she became a big dog. She didn't realize she was a big dog. So my son, not even too long ago, just last year, put the mirror in front of Coco, and it had been years since she's seen herself in the mirror. She ran. She ran from the reflection that was staring back at her because she forgot she grew into a big dog. So what I'm saying to all the big dogs out there who forgot because of a momentary setback from some devastation, a situation, somebody talking bad about you, you didn't forget who you are, which is a big dog. Woof.
Woof. Oh, snap. Thank you.
Woof. And then to take that further, my Georgie is 8 pounds. And he's been 8 pounds. I would say he was 5 when I got him. He's 8 today. He's 12 years old. And he's a little dog, but he gets all up in Coco's face and he stands up on the hind legs to get in her face because she's a big girl. But let me tell you about Coco. She's barking all in her face, trying to snap. She got big dog confidence. She look at him like, little boy, I know you my big brother. And you don't sit down because ain't nothing you can do. You got all bark and no bite. And I already know it. So I ain't giving you the time of day. Big dog confidence, which means you ain't got to be barking back and everybody talking about you. Somebody saying something smart online. You ain't got to be barking back all the time. Big dog, have that big dog confidence. Woof.
Woof.
Yeah.
Man, y'all heard it all here today, okay? So, Dr. Lynn, where can they find you?
At Dr. Traci Lynn on all of the social stuff. I ain't even on. I'm on it, but that is me. Like TikTok, lady say, "Is that really you?" That is me. Yeah, I mean, but Instagram, I'm on Instagram. I try to keep my stories. My stories is real life at the moment. So I'm on Instagram, reels every day, 5 days a week, dropping reels on Facebook, dropping reels on Instagram. Yeah. You know, and I had been off of social for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, I ain't been on in years, probably longer than 2 years, but we're going to go with that. But now I'm back because I got the purpose. I got it now. So I'm there to inspire and to give women just the glimpses they need and what they need to eat to keep going on the journey.
Oh, man. So if y'all want to continue eating, make sure to watch it and make sure to follow Dr. Traci.
Now that's the word right there. Because people are like, oh yeah, I saw you. Yeah, I'm loving them reels, but you ain't hit no follow.
Hit the follow.
Hit the follow. So I'm getting good with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the follow, like, and subscribe.
Hey, come on, sis. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me here today. So
Is the time up?
I think so. Yeah. So the time, I'm sorry. The time is up. You can always come back. You can always come back.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, make sure to subscribe to this podcast. You do not want to miss out on another episode. I pray that this has really shifted something in your spirit. I decided to unlock the vault to someone that I hold near and dear, that literally has been my secret weapon, that now I have allowed to share with the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I'm not jealous. I am here to give from the overflow. So praying that this overflow has touched you well today. Join in next week. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Keep loving, keep laughing, keep living.